Everyone, my name's Tash and I'm an artist, and today I'm going to run through one of the tasks, one of the fun exercises you can do in my book Learn to Draw Grid Methods Christmas. This is available in the TikTok shop, or you can have a download printable version over on my W. So what we're going to do today is this fun exercise, these two gorgeous Christmas gnomes using this grid here. It's a 4x4 grid. For other types of drawings we're doing today, that's really all we need. I'm going to use one of these never-ending pencils. You can get them on TikTok. I found some, so I'll link them below. And inside there, if you just unscrew the nib, is also an eraser. I don't really need it because I have my own, but it's there if you do. What I do have is my own electric eraser. So as you can hear, it is electronic, it has batteries inside, but it's great. I absolutely adore using it. Okay, so let's get started. I am going to start on this gnome here, and I'm going to start on his hat and work my way down. I tend to do that with most things that I do. One thing just to say as well is that it's useful to have a liner pen of some kind. So I've got these lovely little black liner pens that I got, I think it was off well, it wasn't TikTok shop, but they've probably got them in TikTok shop. I won't say where. I don't want to get any notifications against TikTok. So right, this video is, sorry, this gnome, we're going to start in A3, and it's about halfway, just a little bit outside. Remember, don't worry too much about exacts. Now I am doing it in pencil, so it's going to be a bit light to start with. I'm going to come across, create this. See, as you can see already, I think I started too low down. There we are, that's better. I'm not going to worry about worrying it out now. And as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm using small movements. I'm not trying to go in one go and get it all right straight away. Now the nose comes across here. Quite a big nose, isn't it? So it just slightly comes over that way. Now as you can see, I'm using lots of lines because I'm just trying to get the general feel for where everything goes. Now that nearly goes to the end of the hat, but not quite. And then down here, we're nearly at the bottom of the page, almost there. So let's make it come out more. And if you feel as though yours isn't quite looking right, I don't think I quite got the hat right to begin with. I'm not far out enough. So let's adjust that straight away. So I want my hat to come out a bit further to about here. And then the moustache part of the beard can also come out to where it needs to be. So all I'm doing is observing. Over on my grid on the other side of the book, you can see the picture at the top, and I'm just slowly but surely copying. Now all these videos I will have linked in my TikTok series as one video, so you can just watch the whole video to get the idea. Whereas on the TikTok grid, I'll have to load it in 10-minute sections, which is fine. You can still just go from part 1 to part 2 to part 3, but in the series I can upload videos that are more like 20 minutes, which, you know, it's better. I can get the whole video in then, and some bits I'll fast forward, but they're just the bits like the colouring bits at the end and things. Anyway, so hat's done, beard's done, the bottom of the hat's done. We're going to do the top of the hat now, so we're just going to swing up and swing it on this side as well. I think I might actually put the star in first. No, I will do the hat first. So I'm going to come up. See, always making decisions as I go, and I'm not doing just one line. I am, as I've done before, as I've said before, I'm doing lots of little lines. Now I can say I'm really enjoying using these pencils. They're nice and smooth to use, and they were easy to erase, so I can recommend. As you can see, they're doing a great job. So then we'll come down here. And we need to make room for that star, don't we? So the star's going to come across. At this point, I'm not too worried. The star can just be whatever shape, well, whatever size or placement I want. And then we'll just work the hat round it. There we are. Again, just follow the picture. If you're not sure how to draw a star, just follow the picture. It's all about observation. It's all there for you. All you have to do is just look where things start and end. So I'm coming up to A3 and I'm going to just draw in above here the start of his arm, and then it actually ends on the line as well. The other key thing to remember is don't draw things where you think they are. Draw them where they actually are, because it can be a surprise for where you think their placement should be. And these are a really good start for any beginner that's trying to learn how to draw. And then once you've got the kind of muscle memory under your belt for observation and drawing, you can then start to come away from using grids if you want to. You don't have to. I still use grids when I'm going to come down a bit further there. I still use grids when I'm transferring a reference image for a painting, or if I'm doing pet portraits. Sometimes I even trace, which is fine. I'll trace an outline because I want to get it right, and then I'll paint, because really the focus is the painting, not too worried about the drawing. There we go. One gnome already done. Let's do his belt and fill in some of the details. So he doesn't have many details in his face because he's a gonk and his face isn't showing. He's not a normal gnome, he's a gonk gnome. You will see from my website that I have Cornish gnome business. It's all based around little Cornish gnome characters, but they are actually gnomes. They have eyes and they have characters and all that kind of thing as well. So I'm coming up where the cross is here. I'm coming down and up over here. And then I'm coming over here. And basically, you don't need to copy anymore. Just keep drawing lines in the shape of the hat. I'll come around on the star. There's a circle here. We need to do the center because that helps when we colour in a moment. That helps to create the 3D-ness of it. Okay, there's one over here. And just keep coming around with those stripes, and when you get to the top, the stripes come round with the hat. Number one done. How cute is he? Okay, we're going to come on to our second one now. So with this one, I think we'll do a similar thing. We'll start with the hat and then draw the face, and well, we'll just see how we go. That's where I want to start. So I'm coming quite far across in C, a little bit further than halfway, and drawing the hat straight up. And I'm going to do that first because then I can get my placement. Now I want to come up as far as the other hat so that it makes sense. And then draw a little flick round, I would say about here. There we go. Okay, so that's the top of the hat done. And from there we can then come round and do the bottom of the hat like we did last time. And it is quite far over that hat, so don't be afraid to draw it quite far over. There we go. Let's get his nose in. He's got a funny shaped nose, hasn't he? Right. Okay, and then we'll get the beard in. And there, and then here too. And here, there. So the hat didn't quite come up far enough. We wanted to get it more of a curve shape. Then we can come round now and do the beard. So that's the first bit. Then we've got the second bit coming round to about here. And then round and up. I actually think I've come too far over there. See, there you go. I'm doing what's expected, what I'm expecting in my head, and not actually looking. I was trying to get it even, but actually it's not. It's further over this side. So what I've got to do is kind of make it a bit wonky. The other one was as well. And then we'll come up from here, and then we'll come around here. Just try and get it sorted in a way that we're happy with. I think what I need to do with this is be more rounded again as well. So, there we go. Okay, then we're going to come from the beard on C3 and draw a little arm in. And as you can see, it really is a little arm. They've got tiny little arms, haven't they? Coming from here down, we're stopping at the line, we're coming up a bit, little hand, and then we'll draw the clothes. So we're just going to come from under the arm there, which is just below the line. There we go. And then we're going to do another one of those kind of droopy gnome clothes. They're droopy, aren't they? Then come in with the feet, curve it round, curve it over, and around we go. And then we'll do the other one. So it comes around, and then do that too. I think this one's sticking out a bit too far than I like. So what we do is rub it out. So then make it a little bit more natural looking. There we are. It looked too big. There we go. So now we'll carry on with the main hat shape. I'm going to come up to about here. We need to draw in the present. I think once we've got the present in, see there, look, I'm doing what I think, and I'm not copying the grid. So the bottom of that hat, the top of the hat, sorry, needs to come way further down to about here. Then the ring will fit on the line. Then we're going to do the gift here. That's the middle of the bow. So then we're going to do the bow. Again, don't worry about specifics too much. As long as you've got something that looks like a present at the end of the day, it's okay. Like there, I'm supposed to touch the line, but I'm not. It's fine. Don't worry about it. That's a funny shape, but it's bigger there. Again, doing what I'm thinking in my head rather than actually looking. Observation is the key. I just need to remind myself of that sometimes. So I'm going to draw the present in here. And down here. And across. Okay, so now I'm going to put some circles in there. Some little dots. We didn't finish the top of the hat up. There's not much there, to be honest, because it kind of wiggles and goes off. Now we'll come on with zigzags. Oh, I went off there. The hat's not even on there. So basically just go along and draw some zigzags in. I don't think it really matters where they are, just as long as he's got a zigzag hat. I've not really taken much notice where they are. Just draw my own in. Right, there we go. Okay. Just checking what else I need to do. So we need to draw, he's got little strips at the end of his arms. He's also got these little tie belt things at the side. There we go. Okay, so the next step now would be to come in with the liner pen I mentioned and go over the final lines that you're happy with, and then we'll get a piece of paper. I'll draw the grid and redraw it again. I'll do that off camera because it'll just be quicker and less boring for you, and then I'll run through how to colour. So here we go. Remember, these are all from my Christmas book, which is available in the TikTok shop. I'm working on A4, but your books come much smaller. Well, not much smaller, but they need to be smaller so that you can have them handy to take out. All you need is a drawing pencil and your eraser, and away you go. And they're good fun. And you can always colour it in on the grid. It's just that I prefer to redraw it on a pencil drawn grid, and then I can rub the pencil grid out afterwards. So we'll do that in a minute. As soon as I've lined this in and put in the best line that I want out of all the lines I've drawn, that's basically all we're doing really. We're using those little lines to draw it how we want, and then we are going over it with the best line that we choose out of all of those. Okay. And down there, and down there. And we'll draw the belt in. Let's get his droopy clothes on. Drawing those funny feet. And we're done. First one done. This is such a cute one. So these are really good. You could draw these for your Christmas cards. You could actually also take a photo of them when they're finished, and then you could print them for your cards. There's no reason why you can't do that. With my actual artwork, that's how I make my prints. Cameras are so amazing that they're just as good as professional scanning if you have a good camera. And then you can just make your copies from the photo image. Right, let's get this parcel drawn in. And it doesn't matter if when you're going over the pen, from all the lines you choose another one. You make it up as you go when you're doing the pen. You might have found a better way of doing it. That's fine. These pens, sometimes the ends get a bit snaggy and the pen doesn't come out. Right, there we are. Okay, that needs to go on like that. Come around, do their little arms. Yeah, all done. So pretty quickly you've got a really cute drawing, and if I'd pencil drawn the grid now, I could just rub it out and there'd be nothing there, which is what I'm going to do now, so that we're just left with the image to colour in. So I'll be back in a sec. Okay, let's go for some traditional red and green colours to start with. Now I have chosen red and green. I'm using my Derwent Colour Soft for today. I use whatever pencils I feel like using on the day, to be honest. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it as though the light's coming from the front onto them. So anything nearer the front will be lighter, and then anything towards the back will be darker. So towards the back, I'm going to be going darker, and then coming in and leaving the front much lighter. Okay, like that. Okay, and again, I'm going to do alternate stripes. red and green, nice and Christmassy as they should be. Keep it nice and light in the middle. There we go. Keep a nice even pressure. Press a little harder as we go to the edge, and then much, much harder at the very edge. Turn your pencil, just to stop using up your pencil so fast and having one side lighter than the other. Okay, so pressing harder, doing more layers, coming over, turn my pencil, keep it light in the middle. I'm going kind of, I'm doing oval shaped colouring in movements, and then we're not going to see the dark bit, but we want it to be a bit darker, so just go over it a few times there. Make sure it's blending in naturally, and now you can see the lights kind of moving with the hat. So now I'm going to go for more layers at the end, nice and dark. Keep it getting lighter and lighter until we get to the middle, and then we'll come in, turn the pencil, get darker at the end, and keep working towards the middle. Okay, and again, darker on the edges, lighter into the middle, and dark around the edges. There we are. And I suppose there'll be a bit of colour here. Now it can all be dark because it's all squashed up. And then maybe another bit at the end around here. Let's just colour the whole strip in quite dark. There we go. Okay, so now we can come in with a green, and we're going to do exactly the same. Layers and layers on the edge, and then start to get lighter until you're really light in the middle. Keep turning your pencil, and then you can follow with the red where it starts to get a bit darker, and then you get really dark at the edges. So it's just about how many times you go over it really, which creates your darkness. Now if you're not happy of how light it is in the middle, a little trick is to get your rubber and just to come in and create a little bit of shadow like that. I like to do that on most of my drawings, just create that little bit of extra highlight, not shadow. Right, dark on the outside lines. Basically all you're doing is going over layers until you're happy with how dark it is. I'm just going to go over that a bit more, I don't want to show too much. There we go. Okay, dark. We're not going to see the other side of this one. Keeping it dark, getting light, getting dark again. There we go. Dark here, getting light, and dark on the edge. There we are. Dark on the edge, getting lighter, and dark here. Now with this one, I imagine the dark bit is going to be underneath more, and we have the light at the top. You kind of just have to imagine for yourself where those darker bits are, and as it's wrinkling over there, it's going to be dark where it's created a bit of shadow. Can you see? Okay, so I'm happy with that. I might just come over it again. Now one thing you could invest in, which really help with my drawing, is a blender pencil. So there's all sorts out there from most of the brands, and what that does when you go over your colouring, it kind of makes the, I need to put something underneath, it's a bit harder. Let me get a piece of card a minute. It helps to kind of break up the pigment and push it into the paper, and it just gives a much smoother blend. It looks less coloured in, if you see what I mean. There's no grain, there's a lot less graininess, and you can create a really nice smooth look if you are doing a piece of artwork and not just like a little illustration like this. You can create some really lovely smooth looks. And that's all I'm going to do is go over it. I'm not pressing too hard in the middle because I still want to keep that nice and pale. I don't want to mix it in too much with the rest. because you'll end up pushing the pigment into that light area, and then you'll lose your highlighted area, which is okay because you can come back with the eraser. There we go. So we've managed to keep that fine. Okay, coming in on the other hat, we're still going to go for reds and greens, but this time I think we'll start with our green. Again, the end of the hat darker, coming in much lighter into the middle. Now, Derwent Colour Soft, I absolutely love them. If you are thinking about pencils, there are so many good brands out there, but these are really lovely and soft to work with. And I'm just using normal copy paper here. It's just 80 GSM copy paper. You can still get great effects. Okay, just going to sharpen. I also have an electric sharpener, which I also recommend because it's just quick and easy. I need it because I have fibromyalgia, so anything that doesn't take too much work on my hands really helps. Okay, coming in. And just darkening those edges up a little bit more. We need the difference between the edges and the middle to be quite pronounced, and that will give us the highlight more. There we go. It's coming together. Press lightly in the middle, and then I'm just going to darken it a little bit there. To kind of show that it's dark going round. Right, and again here. Going light in the middle. And we're really going to be quite dark here because that's overshadowing the hat a bit here. So keep it quite light on the top where the light will be hitting it. There we go, but definitely much darker underneath here and darker underneath here. And just lighten it up. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, now we're going to move on to the red. There. So I think what we'll do is we'll do the red trim, going darker in the corners and lighter in the middle again. Let's just get the colour down. Bring that round. Oh, they're coming together now. They're looking proper cute. Let's get the rubber again. I just want to put like a highlight in right there. So where you put the highlights, it really does make a difference. So we can see the lights shining right there on that bit. So we can have a bit of dark green on the underneath of the hat because there'll be no light there. Okay, and then at the edges again, as you can see. Again, you don't have to use the colours I'm using. I just like red and green for Christmas stuff. It's traditional, isn't it? Okay, and yep, happy with that. Maybe just shade it up a bit more. Don't want it to be too much of a stark difference. And then we'll get this again, my little gadget, and we'll create a highlight. Basically, it's just rubbing out what we've done, creating a little light where we want to have the light. Oh, my pencil's just rolled away. Let's get hold of that. Okay, so with the beards, we're not going to do too much with them. We'll get out a grey. I've got a couple of nice greys in the colour. I got the 24 colour soft set, I think I did, yeah. So there's a couple of greys in there. That was brown, just in case I decide on a brown. Okay, so I'm going to go more around the edges with this lighter grey. And I'm just leaving that little highlight kind of in the middle. Same with the beard. Just go all over it. Keep turning that pencil. You don't want to have that sharp end, and you don't waste your pencils that way. Okay, definitely going to have some colour here. Okay, there we are. And we'll do the same here. Definitely need some colour underneath anything, because that's where the shadow will be. And you can decide where you want to leave like a little white patch as your oops, forgot to do these bits as your highlight. There we go. Sorry, when I'm actually focusing I forget my words. So I'm going to come under the nose there with this darker grey, and now we're just going to start to create some shadows with this. Okay, some shadows in here, because this is what, well, this basically is what makes it 3D. So there we go, a bit there. This whole bit here can be quite dark because it's in the background, and underneath here needs to be dark because it's under the hat and under the nose. So you're just thinking about what's layering over what, and whether it's layering over anything that's sort of big, then it will have a shadow there. So we're coming underneath, just darken that up a bit. Right, going to come on to the next one now. I don't know, actually, I might just put a bit more in there. Don't want the highlight to be too in your face. And we'll darken it a bit at the bottom. Better. Okay, so under the hat, dark. Under the nose, dark. Get those shadows in. There, coming together nicely. And a bit dark there. And we'll have, you could even just put little patches here and there, as long as you're going in the direction of the beard and it's creating like a feel of a beard, then it's all good. I'm going to get my blender pencil now, and I'm going to blend that in nicely so it's all smoothed out and not looking so pencily and grainy. There we go. As you can see, that really helps. Just want to put some more of this dark grey in here. Oh, it's a light grey. I'll just press a bit harder. There we go. And blend that in. Come to here. I always haven't put too much on his moustache part because I know I'll blend some of that in as I have done. But nice to keep those bits light because they're the bits at the top, aren't they, that will be hitting, the light will be hitting more and creating more of that highlight. There we are. And we'll come over to him here. I'm not sure if you can see the effect of the blender on camera so well, but it really does make a difference. So if you get anything when you're learning to colour in, once you've got your basics, I really do recommend a blender pencil. As I say, there's lots out there. This one's a Derwent, and I think I have, what the other ones? Polycolor, don't know. Not sure. It, as I say, doesn't really matter. There. Okay. Now I'm feeling as though his moustache over here is a bit too light, so we need to create a little bit of colour on there. So I'm just going to use the light grey. You could have used any colours. They could have been brown beards, they could have been any colour that you wanted, but I just wanted, and I'm going to stick with pink. I'm going to stick with my Colour Soft. I quite like to stick with the same brand for each picture and just see what I can do with the colours that we've got. So what I'm going to do now, we're going over to make the nose. They're all pink, but we need to leave quite a nice little highlighted section there to show the light. And we need to be much darker at the bottom. Okay, there we go. I just want to create the light part to the side a bit. Like that. And then we need to do the same here. We'll have the light there, so I can work my way around that to get my first layer of pink down, and we'll do the darkest colour at the bottom. So I'm just doing more layers of the same colour. Normally when I'm colouring I would have 3 various values of the colour I need, but for these are like beginner tutorials, and I don't want to confuse you, and I don't want you to think you need all those tools, because you don't. Okay, we're going to stick to the red and green that we had, I think, but we are now going to go on to the yellow that I have put out. For the yellow, we're going to do on the star. Now I've got a light yellow and I've got a dark yellow, so I can go all the way over with the lighter yellow, as you can see, and then I'm just going to do some of the points a bit darker and go over the line a bit darker to help create the 3D-ness. But again, don't worry too much, just that slight variation helps. And then I'm going to mix it together a bit. Job done. Over to the present. I think what I'm going to do is just do a nice little yellow link there. Let's go for a yellow bow to kind of match the over there, the star. Couldn't think of the word. Let's do the big bow. And then the present itself, I haven't decided on. I don't really want to introduce any more colours. I think we've got enough colours, so I'll just have to have a think while we're doing it. Right, his top's going to be red, so what I'm going to do is just do one layer of even pressure, no lights, no darks yet, but because it's a bigger area, I'm just first of all gonna lay down one colour of an even pressure, so it should be all the same value roughly. Okay, now we have to think where the shadows are. There's going to be shadows where his beard is there. Okay, we need the shadow in there. There's going to be a little bit of shadow underneath the belt, and there's probably going to be some shadows here as the clothes kind of come down into the middle. Okay, and you can do some little lines like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now don't forget, as we're going away into the distance, it's going to be dark again. Perfect. So then we need a little bit more here as well. Just shade that down. A little bit more here. Okay, and you can start to see him coming together a little bit, just using those methods I've mentioned about lights and dark. Right, I'm just going to get the black because I realised we need that. So I am going to turn it to the side now, so I recommend moving your drawing around whenever you feel you need to. I had them so well sharpened that the points have busted with the pressure. So, black in towards the edges where the clothes are, you're going to be getting a bit of shadow, and around towards the edges as it's going into the distance, you're going to be getting a bit of shadow. Then we come in and lighten up. Straight away you can see we've got the bottom of the shoe sorted. I actually am going to do the belt in the black as well, same way, creating shadow where we need a bit of shadow. There we go. Shade it across, don't want it to be too stark, light and dark. There we go. Now I'm going to carry on using the black, but I'm pressing really lightly, but then I'm going to press darker as I come towards the bottom, because the tops will be the lightest part, as you can see. So I'm going to come up most lightest at the top and then start to be dark down here. There we go. Right. Now I am going to use the black and just come in to really create some shadows on the beard, because that will really help to bring it out and make it as more 3D as we possibly can. Can you see just in the crevices of the beard, like that? How's that? He's looking good, isn't he? Okay, let's go to the next one. He needs to be wearing green. If that one's wearing red, we can't be doing matchy now. No, no, no. So again, dark around the edges, because that's going further away into the distance. Oh, that's cute. Might give him red sleeves. There we go. Need little black hands. I'm not really too worried about highlights and dark on the hands, but you can if you want to. I'm doing a bit, but not fussing too much. It's really important on the shoes, I think. Right, so for the entirety of the clothing, again, I'm just going to use the same pressure and put one value of the green down. And then we'll come in with the darker values by pressing harder. If you have another green that's a bit darker that you want to use, great. So I'm going to put some more pressure on now, and I'm going to layer. And that's what's going to bring in those darker values. Okay, we're going to do darker down here because it's kind of going down that way, and into the background we need some darker shadow under the beard, same as before. Let's make these buckles black. We can have green buttons to match the outside, and we'll come back and make the buckles black. So coming round, we go, and lighter in the middle. Coming round. Right. Okay. So I've just done the same as before in terms of leaving a bit of light and a little dark there. Okay, right, the present, I suppose we better get to it. So I think we're going to have to keep it red and green, aren't we? Because I really don't want to add any other colours to confuse the situation. Because sometimes you can add new colours to a drawing, and it just makes it a bit disjointed. So I think we'll just stick to what we've got. Keep turning that pencil. There we go, coming together. Don't forget, you can get the book in TikTok shop, or you can check my bio if you want to get the downloads or anything like that. Let's add in some yellow circles rather than green. That's nice. So we've still made it look nice, and I think, to be honest, not using any different colours has really brought that out. I'd say we're done. I'd say we're done. I mean, I could keep going forever just adding little bits here and there, but I think that's good enough as it is. So there's the final drawing. So I hope you enjoyed that. Please don't forget, you can buy the book, or you can get the downloads off my bio, and we'll see you in the next one. Hope you have a good day, everyone. Bye.